That's one of the things that we have to embrace, that it's okay to become the most successful person in your family. It's okay to become the most ambitious person in your social network. It's okay to be someone that people look at and say, look how hard John's working. Look what Stacy's doing now. Man, if I could only get to the level that she's at, if I could only get to the level that he's at right now. And you start to become a good example for others. Everybody, Grady Polcyn, excited to be on the TNL, the Next Level Live. This has been a cornerstone of my development with Family First Life for as long as I can remember. Being on these calls, I'd set my watch to, because the reality, though, is if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, you're dying. There's no neutral. There's no going backwards. So I appreciate the honor and ability to be able to share on this call. Thank you to the corporate staff. Thank you to Sean, as always. So I was asked to talk about how to develop your downline when recruiting, how to create and enable and empower new agents to come into a position where you're now finding people that want to work like you do. If you're on this call, you're either started with us, getting started with us, or already rolling with us, and I'll find places to be. Just don't go backwards one. If you just got started, don't stop starting. If you're rolling, keep rolling. If you're crushing it, keep crushing. And I think that's a big thing through life as we start to progress and ascend and move up levels and keep going, is there's a cause to reflect, to look back. And you can look back and appreciate, you just can't look back and walk back, right? And I say that twice, two different ways, because that's something that I start to see with Family First Life, is that we have agents that start to do very well. They start protecting 5, 10, 15 families in a month. They then start to protect 5, 10, 15 families in a week. And they start to elevate their financial thermostat. They start to be in a position where they're not that comfortable being anymore, because the people surrounding them, where they grew up, the environment they know, their friends aren't doing as well as they're starting to do now. So it becomes uncomfortable. And I think that's one of the things that we have to embrace, that it's okay to become the most successful person in your family. It's okay to become the most ambitious person in your social network. It's okay to be someone that people look at and say, look how hard John's working. Look what Stacy's doing now. Man, if I could only get to the level that she's at, if I could only get to the level that he's at right now. And you start to become a good example for others. Some may want to join you in business. Some may start to go off and do other things. But I think that to understand that to be here at FFL in 2022, going into 2023, is to understand that this company empowers people to work and to move in a direction and a flow that is yet to be seen by any others. There's a reason why we're breaking IP records. There's a reason why we're breaking recruiting records. There's a reason why we're filling up stadiums and having conventions in them, is because of the environment that we create. Leads, training, investor renewals day one, high comp, all the great benefits that FFL has to offer is something that I try to, and each and every person that I'm working with, impregnate, if you will, put into belief and faith and trust that this is a great place to be. And that's one thing when I talk to new agents, I say, my goal is to get you to a place where you throw your heart over the bar and start to follow it. Because at FFL, we've got such a great opportunity, but people squander it. People squander opportunities all the time, and they go buy scratchers tickets or Powerball tickets and hope to luck out and get the Powerball, versus lucking out and trusting themselves they can develop a skill set to become very good at protecting families, at overcoming objections, at making clients feel comfortable, and understanding that the products we have to offer here and the products that they're looking for, we can become a vessel for and put them in a position to protect their family. So in developing a good downline, developing and recruiting, as we want to focus on, is I say challenge, right? Challenge is an appropriate thing, right? Hey man, I can't dial on Monday. Why? Well, I've got something going on. What is it? Well, it's something I already committed to. Okay, so I thought you're committed to a new business, right? Like, well, it's something with my kid. Okay, cool. No, I got to help a buddy move. Listen, buddy. Listen, Steve. You got to help a buddy move on Monday when it's your first dial day. Like, tell your buddy you started your new business. You got to focus on it. You got to go knock out 350 dials. You help him move after you dial, right? But what new agents will do, and what most people will do, is create procrastination measures that pull them away from the things they have to do. So as a good leader, or as someone who's trying to recruit and start a business, challenging people's excuses is one of the strongest things you can do for them, because they just get away with it, right? If you let your kids lie over and over and over and never call them on it, they're going to become liars. If you call your kids on every time they do something wrong and go, don't do that, And every time you catch them in a lie, you go, why'd you do this? And you have a strong conversation, but we don't do that in this family. Just tell me the truth. It's gonna be far worse for you if I catch you for being a liar than if I find out that you didn't do the dishes last night when you told me you did. I mean, I'm talking about my daughter, Presley. Yeah, I did the dishes, Daddy. Okay, and I wake up in the morning and the dishes aren't done. And I'm like, what's going on here? You told me you did. I'm sorry, right? So as I'm using my analogy with my children, talking about the same sense is when you're working with agents and you're working with even yourself is keep your promises, right? If I said I'm going to dial today and I wake up and, my buddy wants to go to lunch and it sounds like a lot more fun to go to lunch with my buddy and to hang out and go watch some sports than it does to, learn these scripts and get uncomfortable, then the weaker person will go there. So if you don't have a leader that's challenging, or you're not personally challenging yourself and going from uncomfortable and inconvenience, because everything in life is inconvenient until it becomes convenient, right? It's inconvenient to wake up at 5:30 and work out. It's inconvenient to eat salad every day. It's inconvenient to dial the phone 500 times. But we can't now live a life of convenience if we don't first get inconvenienced. And so challenging someone and calling them on why you're only protecting under 10 families a month, and challenging them on that they need to push harder, that you have to try more, like you're gonna fall behind if you don't hit these production levels you've really set out for yourself, is an important thing when starting to build a business. Another thing I say, promote positivity. People come to you, they wanna complain, they wanna air their grievances, they wanna take a crap on your lawn, if you will, as an old analogy I've heard before, is that if you can look at everything and go, if it's not going to be a positive promotion, if it's not something positive, so-and-so protected so many, don't tell me about how many leads you didn't get a hold of, tell me about how many you protected, right? I bought 50 leads and I only got a hold of 13. I don't know what happened the other 37. I couldn't get a hold of the other 37, right? Hold on a second. You got a hold of 13 people. How many appointments did you book? I booked 9. How many did you protect? I protected 6. Let's focus on the positivity, John. Right? That's the thing. If we can change our mindset to just focus on the positive, we're going to look at everything in a positive light. And when you're a self-employed entrepreneur, commission-based sales, you have to put yourself in a position where positivity feeds you. Because if you let negativity feed you, negativity only wants to drag you down. Positivity only wants to build you up. So if you live in a world where you're constantly building up your people, you're constantly talking about the positives, you're talking constantly about the best things that happen. So-and-so got this lead and was able to protect this number of families, right? Sharing positivity is going to put a culture inside your business that's only going to be one of growth versus, we're all talking about what didn't happen and what should have happened and what changed, right? That's someone that's not going to grow. So I would talk about leading by example. And if you're a leader, if you're recruiting, if you're putting people into this business, be the example at which you would hope that your team would act as if, right? If I go out there and I'm protecting 20 families a month, I'm setting the example that that's what we do on our team. If I'm going out there protecting 7 families a month, I'm creating a culture of people that think that 7 families is enough is the barometer for success here. If I'm going out there and protecting 40 families a month, that's putting an example into my business that's saying that this is the standard at which we work at here, right? This is what I need to do. This is why I've found success, and this is how I do it. I buy this number of leads. I make this number of dials, and I generally get this number of presentations, which leads this number of families protected. And when you're able to do that as a leader and as someone who's trying to teach, train, coach, and build an agency, that puts you in a position where you now have created a duplicatable process. That's the thing people are really looking for. I need a plan to follow. I need a path to follow. When you come to FFL and you see that our producers start where a lot of companies' top producers end at, you're in an environment where mediocrity is challenged, where average isn't accepted, where greatness is put in a position that this is something that we all can achieve and accomplish if we work hard and if we develop our skill set, of course. But leading by example says to your team that I'm someone you can follow. You can trust me. And when you call me for advice, I'm going to give you it because my numbers say that I know what I'm doing, right? Great mentor once said, Grady, only take advice from people who have what you want, right? Someone's really fit, ask them for fitness advice. Someone's very successful, ask them for business advice. Someone's got a great marriage, ask them for marital advice. Someone's got really respectful, hardworking, kids that don't lie. Go ask them what they do and how they communicate with their kids, right? So in this business, if the person you're listening to isn't protecting the number of families a month that you want to, find someone upline from them, because I guarantee there's someone in their upline that protects 10, 20, 30, 50 families a month that you then can go ask questions to how to get your business structure in place. And I would end with this as far as the things to develop is eliminating distractions, right? If you're new to us, this is your new business, right? This is something that you're now hoping is going to take care of, feed, and develop, that's going to protect your family. It's a skill set you're trying to hone and harness and put yourself in a position where you can at will go out there and protect families, which in turn is going to protect your own. That eliminate distractions, right? When I first started here, I had a bunch of buddies that wanted to play softball or go bowling or go golf, and I love doing things, right? I'm a gregarious, outgoing, fast-talking type person. But those things would not feed my skill set. Those things wasn't sitting up late at night listening to Matt Smith and Paul McLean taking notes on their in-home and phone scripts on how those I could take their word tracks and make them my own. Right? I had to eliminate so many distractions to put myself in a position where now the words that came out of my mouth were those of other Hall of Fame producers. That's my hope for you, is that you don't treat this like a hobby because it'll pay you like one. Treat this as a massively successful business, and as you build your skill set, it could. And so that's the thing that I think many people don't fully grasp as soon as they could, is that they think that they can continue to live the same life they were living in their job and the time they gave to their job and the off hours at which they did whatever they want, had leisure, had pleasure, and it will become successful, right? You've got to eliminate all pleasure until the price is paid, and put yourself in a position where you can track and get on live dials and emulate those that are successful, just like that person you're following. So with that, I hope this is helpful. I hope this gives some clarity. As a leader, challenge, promote positivity, lead by example, and then as a new producer, to eliminate all distractions, to put yourself in a position where you're solely focused on getting better at this business each and every day. And if you do that, the grass is growing, and the rainbows are shining, and all the things you're trying to accomplish could be there for you. But just keep going forward. That's it. Keep taking steps forward, and we'll see you real soon. See you at convention there. Bye for now.